Welcome to Denver International Airport. Today, you join me on an exciting flight on the Dornier 328jet to the highest commercial airport in the United States. We're flying from here over the Colorado Rockies and into the ski town of Telluride with Denver Air Connection. Denver Airport has been conducting major renovations to the Great Hall here in the Jeppesen Terminal, which is where check-in desks for all airlines are located. The security situation here in Denver has been massively improved in recent years. With pre-check, I was through security in under 5 minutes this morning and walking across the iconic bridge to the A concourse, with views over some of the United gates here and out onto the Rocky Mountains. As Denver is the largest airport in the US and only second in the world by land area, the gates here are quite spread out. To access the B and C terminals, you need to take the connecting train. The A gates are connected by the train or the bridge that I chose to take this morning. Denver Air Connection uses the ground gates located on the east end of the C gates, which are the furthest gates away from the Jeppesen terminal in the entire airport. United has a plurality of the market share here and has helped fuel the growth of the airport as a transit hub. It also serves as a hub for Southwest and Frontier, who combine to account for around 90% of the travelers at the airport. It's also, of course, the home of many conspiracy theories, like being a secret home to the government, elite, or the New World Order, which is partially due to its enormous size, its distance from downtown Denver, and its inflated construction cost. I always look out for lizard people when I connect here, but I haven't spotted any yet. There's a small seating area with restrooms and a few ground level gates down here. Denver has been renovating the main concourse over the past few years, which has massively improved them in my opinion. Looking out the window, you get a great view of some of the regional airlines here, including our ride for today, this 25-year-old 328 jet, and a couple of the Denver Air Connection Metroliners, including the one I took up from Cortez yesterday. There's no jet bridge today. We board by the stairs, which means we get a great view of this unique aircraft for our flight. How cool are these high-wing jets? DAC has these jets outfitted with 30 seats in a 1-2 configuration. I was pretty surprised at how roomy this cabin felt, with a 6'2" height, about an inch taller than a comparable CRJ. That being said, legroom is pretty standard, although if you get a seat on the left side of the aircraft, there's a little bit more room with both window and aisle access. You might notice that this flight is pretty empty, with only 5 of us on board. Mid-January should be peak tourism season in Telluride, which is when this flight should be the most profitable. I took this flight on January 10th, just 2 days after the Ski Patrol Union at Telluride negotiated an end to a strike that had resulted in the resort closing a majority of their operations for around 2 weeks. This strike, along with this January being among the warmest and driest in state history, means that tourism is down. Aviation is a carbon-intensive industry and contributes to this, so for that reason, all flights on this channel are carbon offset to 2 times their emissions via Wren. It's such a treat to get to fly this airplane. The Dornier 328 jet was born out of the turboprop-equipped version of the same airframe, which was introduced in the early 90s to serve the once popular, small regional flight market. Across the turboprop and jet variants, a little over 200 were built, with many seeing service in Europe, Australia, and Canada. There are a few left here flying in the States with Denver Air Connection and Advanced Air, but it's certainly getting a lot rarer. We taxi by the famous white peaks of the Jeppesen Terminal, which were designed by Jim Bradburn to resemble the snow-capped Rocky Mountains. This flight should be a perfect comparison between the two. It's a pretty fun experience taxiing and taking off from a major airport in a little plane like these. Even though this is a jet, it's tiny in the world of commercial aviation, at just over half the length of a pretty standard 737. You feel everything a little bit more as you bump your way towards the runway and start to accelerate. We're off the ground in no time, taking off from one of Denver's 12,000-foot runways on our way over to Telluride. We pass over the city of Denver and head out over the mountains on this 45-minute flight, covering just over 200 miles. We cruise at 22,000 feet today, flying over Breckenridge, Leadville, and Crested Butte. The 328jet provides excellent views with its high wing, meaning every window has unobstructed views of the scenery. There is a flight attendant on this plane, and the service was great for the short hop. I didn't get the chance to film it, but there were drinks and a snack box available, similar to what you might find in premium economy on a major airline. The 328jet is well suited for routes like this one, with great short field performance and a high climb rate. It's a more competitive option than a comparable turboprop regional jet for challenging routes. They prove popular for airports like London City or remote Australian fields, and it's great to see that they can still serve a destination like Telluride. Telluride Airport sees very little commercial traffic, with this flight and only one other to Phoenix on the same jet. The majority of its traffic is private, with the nearby Montrose Airport seeing significantly more commercial traffic and connections to hubs further away like Dallas and Los Angeles. But before long, the pilot announces that we've begun our descent and the best part of this flight begins. As I mentioned, Telluride is the highest elevation commercial airport in the US. So not only does the altitude make the approach difficult, the airport is also surrounded by mountains on all sides, meaning pilots have to navigate their way along the San Miguel River on our way in. I would definitely recommend sitting on the left side of the airplane if you take this flight. The mountainous approach means you get fantastic views over the Sneffels Range, looking out at snow-capped peaks at top 14,000 feet. I'm definitely seeing the resemblance to the Jeppesen Terminal back in Denver. We make a sharp left turn and hug the cliffs as we line up for the runway. And suddenly, out of nowhere, the airport butte appears and we're on the ground. Not long until we're parked outside the small terminal here and deplaning. It's hard to describe just how amazing the scenery was as we walk out of the airplane. This flight over from Denver has to be one of the most beautiful I've ever taken in my life. Add in the quiet and comfortable 328 jet with its high wing, and this is definitely up there on my all-time list. And stick around because next week I'll be departing just up the highway from Montrose to compare one of America's newest airlines, Breeze, to United on a flight to Los Angeles and back. Thanks for watching.